Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of PGN Live. Dang, we're on a roll today. What's with today, huh? Something in the air? September is hitting differently, I'll tell you. It's good that you're all here, though. PGN Live. It's good that we've had a couple of successful streams back to back. I mean, to be honest, they're all successful in different ways because of you being here and making the chat fun and entertaining, you know? But it's extra successful when we get something like what happened earlier today, and that was not just one, but two people getting that $10 Nintendo Switch eShop card. Or Nintendo Switch 2 eShop card. You know what I'm saying. The eShop card. That's always great to see. I'm a little bit later than I thought. A little bit longer of a training session. But we're good. And as you can see, we've got that $7 up there, ready to go from the earlier stream, in which Joycey J is here, the recipient of one of those two. Yvonne Francois, welcome back, welcome back. Michael Gutmann, hey again. LOL, I'm able to be here a bit, actually. Good. Dang, I didn't have on my radar 3 streams today, but I'm really glad I did, because I hit the morning crowd, the afternoon crowd, the night crowd. And for some folks, the tomorrow crowd. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you were at work in the morning on the Pacific Coast time, and you couldn't be here, so you showed up in the afternoon. Maybe you couldn't be here for either, but you're here now. So we'll see how it all goes down. Paul Plants 2. Hi, I'm here, guys. Hi, Paul Plants 2. Welcome. We'll see how many people from earlier are able to make it back, because I said I would be gone from 5:30 to like hour and a half, 7. I said expect to be about hour and a half, 7. Jeez, it's 8:43. Yeah, that's a lot later than I thought. Ooh, that's a lot later than I thought. I'm about an hour and 40 minutes later than I was anticipating, but yeah, that's how it was. Well, Joycey, almost midnight there. What? Will it be midnight in 6 more minutes? Are you that enough over to be East Coast? Or are you Central? Well, for those of you that missed it, which I think right now, Pole Plants 2, I'll bring you up to pace with what are we doing and what am I talking about this whole goal status thing right there. What does that mean? Earlier today, we gave away 2 $10 eShop cards to 2 different people, and it was really exciting. We always do a $10 eShop card on this channel whenever we reach $64 in combined super chats and or subscriptions, gifted subscriptions. I give it right back to the community. $64 is earned, $10 is given right back. One random person gets an eShop card. And earlier today, we hit $135, which means that, well, it takes $128 to get, it takes $128 to get 2 eShop cards, and we did that. We fulfilled that. But I'm like, I'll let that $7 carry over to another stream, and I'll come back tonight, and we'll just start off with $7. So no, nobody donated right now in the last, 4 minutes. That's from earlier. So if you're wondering, wait, I was here from the beginning. Nobody donated. No, that's from earlier. I was like, let me carry it over. We might not hit that right now, and that's okay. No worries. I'm excited if we do because, 1, it's cool to see the community build up, and 2, it's cool to see the community get something back, and that's kind of fun. So if we get it, cool. If not, we're still going to have a good video game discussion regardless. I'm hoping that we can talk about the Nintendo Direct, what we want to see, what we think is going to be there, have a good time. Joycey or Central? Okay. Published, damn, 3 lives in one day. I know. I wasn't expecting to do it. I thought we would have our one stream from 3 to 4:04. That's it. But in the morning, I had some time. I was like, let's just go live now. And it was a lot of fun. Heck, we almost had that right then and there. And I'm having the third one now because I felt bad ending it when I did because we were rolling high. We were rolling. And then I had to end it. So I'm like, you know what? We'll continue later on. We'll do it. Rocking the gi today, the Great Wasp? That's right. I wasn't in a gi all day long, although my day was very martial arts heavy. So I had some jiu-jitsu and I had some karate at different times of the day. So, yeah, I was doing some martial arts all day long, kind of, when I wasn't streaming. So it's been a fun, productive day. It's been great. A lot of people coming in here. Tall Show, welcome back. Michael Gutmann, huge chances on this stream to win the eShop card. Heck yeah, Mike. If you want to go for some video game news and some fun video game talk, there's plenty of places. And I recommend still going to multiple streamers, you know. Player Essence was streaming earlier. I was in that chat. I contributed that chat. OJ's a friend. I like to support OJ. You know, when Nintendo Prime is streaming, I'll hop in there and support because he's a friend. And I like to do that as well and going in his lives. And I recommend these guys too. And Andres Restart. And Game Explain. Go everywhere. Roger Space. But right here, you're now. For some of you, it might be late. Some of you, it might be hitting a European crowd, Australian crowd, that it's like, no, this is the perfect time. Wow. Well, we're trying it, right? We're doing some different times of the day and seeing who pops up. Anthony Allen. Hey, am I going to get Sonic Racing Crossworlds? I didn't get into the playtest, so I don't know if I will. I wanted to try it out first. I have a good idea. I've liked Sonic racing games in the past, so I'm pretty sure I'll like Crossworlds, but I don't know for sure if I'll get it yet. I could take a chance and get it without playing the demo. I could potentially wait and see what more game footage looks like on it myself, have some trusted reviewers talk about it, get their impressions. I don't know. Anthony Allen, are you going to get the game? That's why you have the gi on now. Thank Meme Center X. Yes, I just came back from teaching. Gina, baby. Hi there. The Great Wah. I did jiu-jitsu for a while a few years ago and loved it. Yeah, it's fantastic. You want to practice just solo? There are enough drills scooting across the floor, going backwards, keeping a hand up, going diagonal, scooting forwards, diagonal, knee shuffling across the ground, lifting your foot up to advance forward, going at an angle, rolling forward with one lead arm, rolling forward with another lead arm, sprawling backwards, learning how to roll back safely to keep your neck aligned, how to keep your chin tucked in. You get with a partner, you go through just something natural, how to get out of someone's guard, how to advance into someone's guard, how to get from behind, how to get on the side, how to tuck your knee and put it over and have it a staple point anchoring into the floor, and then with your foot quickly and accurately move it lateral from the inside of you to the outside of you to clasp around their ankle to hold them into position so that they don't then go back to you. How to use your elbow on the inside of their hips, where to put your hand to prevent them from making space, how to pull them back on top of you to mask the distance. There's so much. We'll get into too much of it. But yeah, yo, Gonna lurk, it's late. LOL. Egomaniac87. Yeah. For some folks, it's more late than others. I mean, it could be 9 minutes till midnight. Gina Baby, Mike Odyssey. He's good. I like his channel. Yeah, I like Mike Odyssey's channel also. Mike Odyssey and I did Indie Mania for the last 2 years in a row. The ring gimmick would be an issue after a month if they don't allow normal 3-lap tracks. So yeah, regarding Sonic Cross Worlds, I mean, that's a possibility. Something could have a good gimmick, but like if it doesn't have enough core fundamentals behind it, then it might not last, or a community might not be that keen of it, you know? The Great Wall, you tried Sonic Superstars a little while ago and wasn't a huge fan, but maybe it gets better further into the game. Sonic Superstars is fine, but it does get more enticing levels. Okay, dang. Talking back to the Great Wall. Good to know. Silk Song. Okay, yeah. So I'm caught up on the chat earlier. I'll tell you. So my thing, going back to gamers.com and oneup.com for years, was I like to respond to every single person that I can. When I used to moderate and be the administrator for the EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine forums, whether I would go do an E3 Q&A and come up with the official E3 Q&A for gamers.com and oneup.com and bitmob.com for that matter later on, I would get back to every single person and I would type back a full comment, a small paragraph sometimes. And I wouldn't even say, oh, just go back earlier, I already answered that question. I would re-answer it. And on YouTube, I try to do the same thing, read every comment, answer every comment. But it's tough. It's tough when they're flying like this, when they're flying like this. They're going by so quickly. That's why, and I don't blame, some YouTube content creators. Hey, I respond if I'm @ed, with the @PaulGale Network, for instance, because then my name highlights in orange. Or sometimes folks only respond to, a super chat because then it's highlighted. But I try to get I try to get to everybody. So if I ever don't get you, it's not on purpose, it's not intentional. It's hard to read everything sometimes because it goes by pretty quickly. Like earlier, it was racing by. Oh, let me see. Speaking of missing questions, I don't want to miss any, and I think I got one. Okay, The Great Wall. Are you excited for Silk Song? Yes. 2 more days. Thursday, right? September 4th. 2 more days. It's so funny because I stopped after a while thinking, yeah, it's going to be at this direct, or it's going to be at this, presentation. More often than not, I stopped. And I'm glad because there were only like 1 or 2 times in the last several years I thought, yeah, I think tomorrow, or I think at this next one. And then I really just I kind of backed off. I was like, they've got a different goal in mind. They've got a different mindset, or a thought process, if you will. And a little bit more transparency with the audience, knowing that people are like really gung-ho for more knowledge would have been nice. But hey, they were a team hard at work, crafting away, and that's okay. That's all right. They did it, but when they announced it, boom, see you in 2 weeks. We're ready. That's cool. I'm sure a lot of people in here are looking forward to Silk Song. It suffers for Sonic Mania being a much better 2D release and Mario Wonder launched near it. Getting the game Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I think it was really actually in my mind after a lot of months of watching all of its trailers and playing the playtest server. So I think it's worth it, maybe. Might just really be a yes. Michael Hall, welcome back. Stopping in really quick to say hi before going to bed. Good luck to the winners. Hey, thank you, Michael Hall, so much for contributing. By the way, no obligation, but I did figure it out. So now on my channel, when you go there, subscription is something that you see pop up like right when you go to the channel's homepage. it's there now. I don't know how to like embed it in just yet into the chat, but like now when you go to the channel on the homepage, it's it's right there. So if you're interested in the future, because I know here folks are able to gift super chats, but can you get one yourself? How do you do it? This is how. And that should take you right there. Let me see. Some more questions. What's your favorite Mario power up and why? Dank Meme Center X is asking. Oh. Since I really like Super Mario World a lot, Super Mario World and its yellow cape is something forever iconic to me, and really what let Mario fly continuously if you push the button input just right. The wing cap from Super Mario 64 and Metal Mario for coolness factor and for flight factor is also really neat, and the music attached with it. I like cats in general, and I thought that Super Mario 3D World's Cat Mario was really fun. Also, Super Mario 3D World was the Mario game that my wife and I played together thoroughly. Like, we just blasted through that game when we first got married. So it was the game that like we enjoyed a lot together, and that was really neat. So that was a good experience. So those are a few of my favorites. I love Super Mario Odyssey's whole concept of throwing Cappy and, you know, capturing the essence of any character almost. That's really cool. Dank Meme Center X. I still don't get the full appeal of Hollow Knight considering Dead Cells and Celeste were much better games to me, so hope it does well and I may give Silk Song a second shot. Hollow Knight resonated a lot with many people, and I think that it has become so mysterious as to when Silk Song would finally come out, because the last time it was playable was, I think, E3 2019, also the last in-person E3, and when I finally, when I got to play the game was at that E3. So it just became a thing that was looked after longer and longer, more and more hyped for. The Great Wall asks, what was your take on Donkey Kong Bonanza? I'm assuming you played that game. Yes, I did. I loved Donkey Kong Bonanza. It took me, without rushing, 14 days to beat it. I just couldn't stop. Every day I was putting in several hours. My final play time, if I'm not mistaken, I put it on X, was like 40 hours and 10 minutes. And that was about like 64, 70-ish percent, maybe like 65%, whatever, of the game complete in terms of how many total fossils I got, how many total bananas I got, the amount of records that I got. It was mid 60s, maybe low 70% of the game. And then came the post game. And now I've put in several hours into the post game, getting more bananas because now it's out of a greater total. And I just liked it. The music, zebra, 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 zebra. Catchy music left and right. Cool transformations, cool power-ups. Terrific music. I liked Pauline's voice acting the whole way through. I loved the final boss and that final area. That stage was awesome. Controls were smooth. The graphics were crisp. The animation was nice. The gameplay was varied. The destructible nature was so fun and varied of what you could do. Modifying the world. Even playing with the mouse control modes in that beginning section in the art gallery kind of thing was also neat. I gave Donkey Kong Bonanza a 10. I liked it so much, and it makes me really excited for the next, Super Mario World or Super Mario game in 3D. Steak 1024. Your subscription question you posted on YouTube is set up as a trivia question, not a poll. Oh, jeez. Thanks, Steak 1024. As a trivia question, not a poll? Oh, oh no. I I read I what the heck? I'm gonna have to fix that sooner than later. Thank you, Steak 1024. Trivia question. Well, if it's a trivia question, then the black belt answer is obviously right. Gosh dang it. Jude Kerman. How do you enter the giveaway? Good question. So, Jude, the giveaway isn't currently live, but very well could become live if we hit $64 in super chats or gifted subs or subs tonight. How it worked earlier was we had a stream earlier today, geez, already like 6 hours ago, and it was a smash and hit. Everybody was having fun, popping off. The comment section was wild. People were given donations to the stream. And on this channel, the rule is anytime $64 in super chats are given to the stream or gifted subscriptions or people subscribing themselves, I give $10 right back to the community via $10 eShop card. And earlier today, I actually gave out two $10 eShop cards. One to this person, one to this person. Super cool. So we're not there yet. So technically, it's not a guarantee that one's going to be given out. But we're at $7 out of 64 total. So we've got 59 to go in some kind of combination of super chats or donations of subscriptions, etc. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. We're going to have a good time talking about the Nintendo Direct or whatever else you want to talk about. But if it does happen, extra cool because then somebody gets a nice eShop card and that feels good to win. Dead Cells and Celeste are both great, yes. Oh, Dank Meme Center X, thank you for answering that question. Let's see. Talking back and forth. The last two questions were trivia instead of poll. The last two in a row? I gotta fix that. Let me see what it looks like on my end. Hey, J Biggs, Mr. NY for life. Welcome. Yeah, I guess I'll look. I mean, I could look now potentially, or I could look later. I want to talk about gaming for you. I know on some people's streams, the last thing people that are coming to a video game stream want to talk about is somebody figuring out how to operate their YouTube channel or how to do this or that, or somebody unleashing their woes onto you and like, dude, I don't want anything dark and heavy. I want to talk about video games. That's why this is a gaming channel primarily. Once a week, though, it would be nice to teach some martial arts or exercise if that's something that's interested in, which it looks like it has been based off of polls and stuff. Or once in a while, if we just want to have a nonchalant stream to talk about whatever, do some good, give some good vibes, some advice, whatever, then that's cool. So I don't want to spend too much time for me like looking at my poll stuff now, but I do want to fix it, so maybe I will. So I mostly want to talk about games, though. Oh. Boo Mini says, Paul Gale Network, you said, I used the eShop gift card to buy Hollow Knight. Super cool, Boo Mini. Look at that. Boo Mini, to answer Jude's question earlier, and to anybody else that's in the chat right now, Boo Mini was the lucky winner of the first eShop card given tonight. And then Joycey J, also in the chat, or was in the chat earlier, might still be, was the winner of the second Nintendo Switch eShop card. So it really does exist. It's not just for giggles of, oh yeah, eShop card given, come by. No, I mean it. Like, potentially every stream one can be given. It's been given like 5 times. So definitely not every stream. But I think we've given out, yeah, $50 already in the last couple of weeks that we've been doing this. So that's pretty sweet. I hope you like Hollow Knight, Boo Mini. Question, Boo Mini. How much was Hollow Knight? Like, how much is it now on eShop? I actually don't know because I've had it for a while. Like, I bought it years ago. So I don't know, like, what does it cost these days? Was it only 10? If so, that's pretty sweet. That's a lot of game for $10. So you started playing it. There's this giant beetle that I can't get past. Oh, no. I think I know where you're at. That's pretty early. J Biggs, Mr. NY for life. I enjoy the World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6. What are your thoughts about it, Paul? You know what? When I play Street Fighter, I love the fighting game aspect of it. I'm all in the one-on-one. That's what I grew up. I love it. So when I found out that Capcom was going to have a World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6, I was like, I kind of wanted a more elaborate story take like they had on Street Fighter 5 or what Mortal Kombat has done really well for a while from X to 11 and eventually to 1. Like, I like that. And then when they showed off World Tour mode, I was like, so running around, Avatar, okay, fighting with people in the streets, like Streets of Rage style, but the fighting combat being Street Fighter. Okay, how am I going to feel? Oh, but you do meet up with classic characters, and actually I end up really liking it. I think my son, I don't know if he's a bigger fan of World Tour mode or normal Street Fighter gameplay. When I say normal, I mean like, the one-on-one. But that's what helped bring him into Street Fighter was that World Tour mode. It is that 3D navigating story, interacting with other characters, learning the moves, power up, some RPG elements. My son really loved and loves still The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So Street Fighter's World Tour mode, having something like that, brought him in. And then, yeah, he does like playing, arcade and seeing the characters, as do I. And I actually, as an old head Street Fighter fan from back in 1987, liked World Tour mode too. It's a lot of fun. I like the story's progression. I like being able to modify my character. Taking that character back into the hub has been pretty fun. Seeing Ryu and Ken and Chun-Li and it's all cool. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I think Street Fighter 6 is a really good entry point for people. And at $40 on Nintendo Switch 2, it's not bad. It's only $60 if you buy, the version that has more characters and costumes. But $40 base is not bad. Joycey J, I'm glad you're still here. Even though you're a little bit tired, that's okay. Hang in there. Boo Mini, it was $15. Tall Show is saying $15. Okay. So I think $15 still for Hollow Knight's not bad. Let's see. The game is structured in a unique way. The game knows you're going to suck at it in the beginning. From dying and retrying, you'll get better. Yeah. J Biggs, you like World Tour mode? More. Oh, makes you want a new Final Fight. I would love a new Final Fight. We got new Streets of Rage. I want Final Fight. I want to visit Mike Hager and Guy and Cody in their Metro City that we're seeing now. You glad you didn't listen to reviewers that dismissed that mode? Absolutely. Like, I think maybe just folks that wanted pure Street Fighter did. Like, maybe, like, my kind of people wanted just fighting games, but, like, give it a chance. It's actually fun. Hey! Boo Mini with a 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Boo Mini. Michael Hall! Michael Hall! Oh, Michael Hall. Michael Hall's going to be so happy, I think, because... Wait, is Michael Hall in here now? Hold on. Yeah. Michael Hall, are you still here? Or no? Yeah, Michael Hall, are you still here? Oh, when he came in here earlier, he said, stopping by for a bit to go to bed. So, what is the lore behind Michael Hall and the membership? Michael Hall was kind enough to be gifting donations to the stream. Yet Michael Hall couldn't see, where do I select to become a subscriber? I want to subscribe myself. And then folks were trying to help out and stuff like that, and then we ended the stream. So right now, Boo Mini, who has very frequently been donating to the stream, just gave one, and Michael Hall was the recipient, so that's cool. Would Soul Calibur fit in the current fight game scene? It would for me, Dang Meme Center X. But first, well, I will answer more on that because I've got something to say on... I got some good thoughts on Soul Calibur. But let's add Boo Minis $4, no, $5. $4 to the total. And now, if there's anybody in here who's new, you're about to see how I do this. You see the $7 right there? That 7 becomes 11. And now we're $4 closer to that $64 total. And then, if you're also new here, then maybe you don't know what I do next. But what I do next is I like to give a proper thanks, a little bit of a highlight to anybody who donates in the stream. So Boo Mini goes right here, and she donated $4. So Boo Mini's name gets highlighted there as a small thanks from me back to you. Thank you, Boo Mini, so much. Fairbanks, have you heard anything about the new Red Dead Redemption 2 getting a remastered? I heard about it. I heard the rumor. I believe it's true at this point, that it's just a matter of time. I can't wait to see what it looks like, honestly, because, gosh, Red Dead Redemption 2 still looks good on the base Xbox One. Still looks good on the base PlayStation 4. Let's see what Nintendo Switch 2 could do with it. And to take it on the go? That's going to be a nice game to take on the go. Back to Dang Meme Center X with that question. Yeah, I think Soul Calibur could fit. I think any good fighting game with a nice varied cast, well-balanced gameplay would do well. Like Virtua Fighter in today's age, Dead or Alive, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Smash Brothers, Soul Calibur, Pokken Tournament. Anything would fare pretty well as long as it's got a diverse cast, different than one another. Bring on Guilty Gear. Bring on, Killer Instinct if there were a new Killer Instinct to be made. Yeah, I don't see why not. Dang Meme Center X. Yeah, acknowledging that, hey, he finally gets it. Yeah, you were here. You know what I'm talking about. Michael Hall, you ended up getting the membership. I hope Michael Hall is still here, but I have a feeling he went to bed because earlier he did say, tired, just showing up for a little bit. Actually, can I see if Michael Hall's in here now? Maybe Michael Hall is here, but he fell asleep with the phone in his hand. And then he wakes up to, hey, I'm a member now? And just like that, we're at 21 people watching. That's cool. If you're showing up to talk video game talk, feel free to drop a comment or a question in the chat. Address it to me if you want me to answer it. Talk amongst each other. This is a cool community we have. If you're here for the eShop card, we gave away 2 separate $10 eShop cards earlier, and it was a lot of fun. Joycey J was the recipient of one. Boo Mini was the recipient of one. And people rallying behind them had a good time. So we might be giving a 3rd one out tonight. We already did 2. Lucky number 3, maybe. We're at $11 out of our $64 goal. So with 53 more bucks, we might be giving out another eShop card. What else we got in the chat? Talking about the music. And talking amongst each other. Good. Let me check. I gotta Hmm. Okay. Nintendo Ninjas Prime, what's up? Good to see you here. What else do you want to talk about, chat? I mean, we talked so much earlier about the Nintendo Direct, about Zelda possibilities, about Mario Direct possibilities. We could talk Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, what you want to see. There's plenty. Let me get my Mario mug over here, or my warp pipe mug. Let me get my mug. Got a little coffee here. One moment. I'm reading the chat in the meantime. Sorry if that was too noisy. Boo Mini's asking, are you feeling certain that we'll be getting 2 directs this month? I don't know about being certain whether or not there will be 2 Nintendo Directs this month, but I do think there will be 2 very different conversations on Nintendo topics this month from Nintendo. Meaning, I think there's going to be designated Mario time for the 40th anniversary and designated everything else time. So they could separate it by giving us a, 25-minute Mario 40th anniversary direct and then like a 45-minute beefy Nintendo direct. Or they might be like, here's a nice 52-minute Nintendo direct in which the Mario portion of it is 12 minutes long. I don't think Nintendo doesn't do something for Super Mario Bros. 40th anniversary. I don't think so. It makes too much sense between September 3rd and September 17th to do something for Mario's 40th. And I also think it's prime time for a big, juicy Nintendo Direct. So if I were Nintendo, I would spread it out to have more people talking more frequently throughout the year, and in this case, throughout the month. So I do think there will be 2 Nintendo Directs. Yeah. The only way I see it there being a third is if during the Nintendo Direct General one, Nintendo releases information on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond's release date, and it's coming sooner than later, like mid-October, and they say before the game comes out, we will be having a deeper dive into it, similar to how they did Mario Kart and Kirby. And stay tuned for end of September for this direct on Metroid Prime before the game comes out. Then again, they could still hold a Metroid Prime 4 Beyond direct late September if the game's not coming out till October or December. After all, look, between when they had the 45-minute presentation for Kirby Air Riders, it's a couple of months to go until Kirby Air Riders releases November 20th, right? Michael Gutmann, you gotta go. See you later. Thanks for being here again. Dang Meme Center X says, please give us Mario 40th anniversary theme at the very least for the system. Tired of using basic black. Oh, okay, like a theme like that? That would be cool. That would be a nice little perk. Red and blue. Noises. Optional noises and warp sounds and and coins going off and stuff. Maybe. Could be fun. Nintendo Ninjas Prime. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond hype. Yes, big time hype. Oh, so hyped for that. Boo Mini, the mug is great. Heck yeah, thank you. Let's see. Got a couple of questions. Think, what spin-off do you see coming from the Marioverse? I'm hoping it's Wario related, as the WarioWare titles were fine in short bursts, but not substantial in long term. I want to see another Wario Land one day because Wario Land operates different than 2D side scrolling Yoshi, Kirby, Donkey Kong, or Mario. Wario Land is pretty fun. So I'd like to see another Wario Land title. I don't know if that's in the works anytime soon, but it would be cool. I would like to see Yoshi Woolly World come over to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 because a lot of people haven't played that, like 1.7 million or so have played it, but not nearly enough in my opinion. Woolly World is great, Crafted World is great. Woolly World might have the better music, might be the better game, but they're both awesome. So Woolly World, Luigi's Mansion 4, eventually, heck yeah. What other kind of spin-off though? I think a Mario Warriors game would be pretty dope, like Hyrule Warriors, but Mario style. Have Mario pick up a chain chomp and just swing it around, knocking Goombas out by the hundreds. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, those are some ideas. Fairbanks, what would be your all-time dream game? Something that would probably never happen. For me, it would be an Uncharted / Tomb Raider crossover. That would be cool. Nathan Drake and Lara Croft teaming up. That'd be pretty dope. Okay, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say something in a way that I don't think it'll ever happen because I think it makes too much sense to happen. I would love to see a Star Fox game, but Star Fox to take a little bit of a nod, a little bit of a page, if you will, out of the Ratchet and Clank book, because I think those characters, that team dynamic, their squabbling, their banter, their friendship between Fox, Falco, Slippy, and Peppy go really well together. But having Fox traverse on land with an upgradable laser, upgradable shield, upgradable melee combat would be kind of cool to have it go, 3 tiers and evolve this one or that one, kind of like RPG like, but also aerial combat, fly in space, 4-player co-op, someone in a Landmaster tank going through a stage while someone's in an R-Wing and talking to each other over chat with the Nintendo Switch 2 camera on screen, that being you in the cockpit of your own game and popping up on the other person's screen, online multiplayer in versus mode, and back to land, traversing through these spaceships, being quick and agile with your melee combat, as Fox is. This is a game I would like. Full on story. I'd love it. I'd love it. I want it to happen one day. Boo Mini, do you think Astrobot will ever come to Switch 2? Oof. Crazier things have happened, Boo Mini, You asked me back in the day, do I think that Mario and Sonic will team up with one another in a sports game at the Olympics? Who would have predicted that? That Sonic, in 1991, a fierce foe of Mario, would end up becoming an amiibo, a plastic toy made by Nintendo. On the back of a Sega Genesis controller, it said made by Nintendo for Nintendo Switch, for Sonic to be in Smash Brothers, right? Too many things you would have never predicted. So, with Sony voicing that they want to expand and all this kind of stuff, do I think Astrobot will ever come to Switch 2? I'll say I don't know, but I would no longer be totally surprised. So I think it's a possibility. But it's also a weird one because not that the game doesn't fit Nintendo well. I mean, it's a platformer. but it has a very PlayStation essence to it. It's got PlayStation controllers and buttons and all those kind of cameos things in it that I don't know if Nintendo would want it necessarily on their system. You know what I mean? And they surely wouldn't have them reconfigure everything to be Nintendo controllers. It just wouldn't fit. So I'm leaning towards no, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it does. Fairbanks, a 3D Yoshi given the same love and a massive world as Mario Odyssey and Donkey Kong Bonanza would be fire. Yeah, it would. Even if it was something a little bit smaller, but like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that did a really good job for boosting up Kirby in the minds of many. Steak 1024. What do you think about Forsaken 64, which is coming to N64 Classics Thursday? Oh, hold on. Forsaken is coming this Thursday? Was that announced today and I didn't know? Or, hold on. That's cool. I rented Forsaken 64 back in the day. Hey! I was teaching. Should we watch this together? Let's watch this. This was pretty fun back in the day. Okay, let's watch this together. This might be new to other people too.
The bloody coup is now complete. The human infestation purged from the planet, and the Earth, a wasteland, mastered by machines.
That's been a while.
Forsaken.
It was a pretty fun game. There are certain games that I remember the time and the place and the store that I rented it from. Like I remember renting Forsaken 4. Here we'll pause it on the games box so if anybody's coming to the stream, they could see Forsaken 4 available 9/4/2025. Yeah, pretty cool, Steak 1024. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I want Falco third-person shooter. Maybe J Biggs. Fairbanks sounds awesome. Yeah, regarding the Star Fox, heck yeah. Britt, I've been enjoying your streams, Paul. Are you a fan of Animal Crossing? Well, thank you. Yes, I'm a fan of Animal Crossing, and thank you for joining the streams. Well, joining and enjoying. I appreciate it. I'm glad. They've been a lot of fun to do. Yeah, I like Animal Crossing. The only Animal Crossing I guess I didn't play, or did I play it? I might have played it on a Japanese Nintendo 64, but I started playing Animal Crossing a little bit more regularly, I guess, with the Nintendo GameCube version, because that one had a really cool, in your house, you had a TV and an NES, and there were like a good several NES games that you could full on play from it. That was kind of fun. And then Animal Crossing New Leaf, and of course Animal Crossing Horizons. Animal Crossing on Nintendo Switch, that was probably the game that got played the most by my family and me during the pandemic, as I think for a lot of people, right? We each had a file on the island, the four of us, and we just played that game a lot. The couch was starting to get a dip in it from us sitting there and playing. J Biggs, I want an Urbosa game. That would be cool. Ooh, a backstory on Urbosa. That could be pretty neat. Action, adventure, all of her flash and aura, her lightning going through the desert would be pretty sweet. The Great Wall, I'm glad I got to stop by for a bit. Heading to bed. Good night. Bye, The Great Wall. Thanks for being here. Tall Show, also Sonic and Super Mario Maker. All of those amiibo that you can unlock and use to unlock little 8-bit characters in Super Mario Maker. Super cool. Fairbanks, I don't Think so, Boo, because all the collectibles are PlayStation stuff, and even his ship is PlayStation Control. See, that's the part that I was talking about, too. Nintendo Ninjas Prime. Okay, talking amongst each other. Years ago, I came up with a Punch-Out game where you play as Doc's granddaughter. With Little Mac as your trainer, and now that Clarissa Shield being the big name now, she could be the boss. Interesting.